Hello, everybody, and welcome to Salute to the Sickos. This is podcast number 5. How are you today?
Good, good. What's going on? Greetings from South Texas. This is
I'm sorry,
Toonchi.
Tucci. Tucci, how are you? How are you doing?
Good, good.
Good to hear. So, uh, like always, I love starting off the show with telling me how you got into wrestling.
Yeah, so I kind of go back and forth just on timeline because it was probably 2005, 2006. I can't remember if it was a family vacation in Mexico
Hmm.
where they were airing a uh, big AAA show. I remember it being Saturday morning, and I was watching with my grandpa, and that was just mind blowing to me. uh, the concept of you see it all around Mexico.
Hmm.
We were always down there. I live right on the border, so
Hmm.
uh, lucha culture is very big to us. So you always saw it, and then finally I got to see it on TV with back then Místico was on AAA, La Parca, Octagon. Some of
Hmm.
those heavy hitters, and so that was just larger than life to me. Uh, but yeah, that was one of them, and then my earliest memory of wrestling was actually a SmackDown episode.
Hmm.
Uh, kind of translating how I saw these heroic AAA guys to seeing all the wrestlers on SmackDown actually doing the 10 bell salute for Eddie Guerrero.
Hmm.
Uh, that was probably my first episode of wrestling ever. I just know because I never watched an episode with Eddie Guerrero in it, and
Hmm.
that is my first memory. Um, and then it kind of on and off. A couple weeks later, John Cena gets screwed at New Year's Revolution,
Hmm.
and I remember watching the very controversial Lita and Edge live sex show,
Hmm.
live sex celebration. I'm sure we all remember that one.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, to a 9-year-old boy, that was just insane.
Yeah.
And then John Cena comes out and beats them up. That was,
Yeah.
huge, and that just absolutely propelled me into the world of wrestling. Um, yeah, at the same time, my best friend in elementary school uh, was also very big into wrestling, and so we'd call each other on the phone and stay on the phone for 2 hours every
Mm.
Monday for Raw.
Yeah. Yeah. I I get it. I've always been big into that. So you mentioned luchadors and stuff. And you mentioned Eddie Guerrero. Did you see Eddie Guerrero down there much? Did he have any impact on you growing up?
Yeah. No, no, he was before my time, um, and especially with the following WrestleMania, Rey
Hmm.
Mysterio winning
Yeah.
the champion the title. Uh, so Rey Mysterio is actually, I guess, more noteworthy in my fandom than Eddie Guerrero. I will
Okay.
say Eddie Guerrero is a lot more relatable.
Hmm.
Eddie Guerrero is all of our uncles. I feel like
Yeah.
everybody,
I get that.
especially Chicanos, Mexican Americans. All of us have that Eddie Guerrero uncle. There's a segment where he's eating rice and beans backstage, and Batista takes the platter from him.
Uh
And when I saw that, after the fact, I remember that being just like, wow, that is my Uncle Pete.
huh. Yeah, I remember my first time. I used to watch WCW Nitro, and I used to watch Rey Mysterio. And when he first came in there, I thought I was in another world watching him wrestle, just fly around that ring. He was mesmerizing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Before
He's
before being old enough to really understand the differences, the lucha guys were absolutely blowing my mind in AAA.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously WWE is a little more for the story, a little more
Hmm.
theatrics, but I remember AAA. That was Saturday mornings for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, broadcasting. I just remember that being Saturday mornings. You wake up and some kids watch cartoons, and I would tune into the Mexican networks and watch AAA.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your Mount Rushmore, how you get there, and who are your four. I like to see four, but some people add a little extra, and that's fine too.
Yeah. So kind of already mentioned, especially for, just being Mexican here on the border, Mexican American, uh, Rey Mysterio was absolutely our guy. And, I kind of generalize, but I feel pretty backed when I say everybody felt some sort of connection to Rey Mysterio, especially being the smaller guy, the underdog. Um, WrestleMania 22 was absolute magic for me, and that it kind of meant a lot. That one's, I guess, a little bit more of a emotional tie to my Mount Rushmore. Um, Past that, Stone Cold also. I gotta throw Stone Cold in there. Um, I'd say there's points taken away from him because of his short time actually wrestling and his
Hmm.
his his in ring, but that guy has hours of just so much repeatable content to watch. His feud with McMahon, his feud with The Rock, all of that, and the crowd reactions he got. You know,
Hmm.
there's that when Mankind won the World Heavyweight Championship, uh, Stone Cold wasn't even in the match, and that's maybe the biggest pop I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
got to throw Stone Cold in there. Um, Another big one for me is John Moxley. That's I I'm a big fan and proponent of hardcore wrestling. I love deathmatch wrestling, and I know how much of a proponent he is for that. Reading his book was very. It was nice peeling of the curtains per se. Um,
Hmm.
and you read that and you're like, oh, he's just a guy. He's one of us, a sicko just like us.
Hmm.
And I think his journey has been pretty awesome, especially with the almost being like punk rock and
Hmm.
leaving such a corporate backing.
Yeah.
Along those lines, I throw Kenny Omega in there.
Okay.
I think he's absolutely the definition of what can be done when you have no corporate backing, like absolutely zero.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, Making a name in ROH way back when, and then starting in Japan with DDT. Who knows where that could have taken him, and it just absolutely propelled him to where
Yeah.
he's at now. Opened the doors to New Japan, and so I love a journeyman story like that.
Hmm.
Uh, and who
Yeah.
doesn't love a Kenny Omega match? A Kenny Omega live mic segment.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get, and it's
Yeah.
always quality.
Yes, I
Uh,
100% agree with that.
an honorable mention. I don't know
Hmm.
if maybe slide a fifth, but absolutely an honorable mention is Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Kurt Angle, I think, was a just all around guy. He can be goofy. His intensity in the ring was off the charts, and especially because he was a wrestler, a collegiate wrestler, but didn't start in the business. And to
Hmm.
be the Kurt Angle that we know today, that's a true dedication. And I always really enjoyed watching
Yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah, those last two get on this list quite a bit. I've heard Rey Mysterio as well as one of the best luchadors. People have put him on their list as well. Tell me, do you have a what is your favorite all-time match?
Oh wow. Favorite all-time match. Uh Repeatability. I go back and watch Swerve Hangman 2 a lot. The
Mm-hmm.
Texas Death Match at Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
That one just pops out at me. I think there's and again I love deathmatch wrestling. There's no other. I'm not sure if I thought hard enough I could think of one, but this one in particular was one where I was like, these guys hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
That like there's no if, ands, or buts about it. These guys absolutely someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
At one point, I did think Swerve was going to die. He was losing a lot of blood in that match,
Yeah.
and that's one that I love to rewatch.
Okay. So let's get started in your AEW journey. It started in 2019 or so. Did you start from the beginning or did you jump in later?
I jumped in later, so I fell off of wrestling completely in the Ruthless Aggression era.
Mm-hmm.
Missed the PG era. Uh, I heard about New Japan and you know how hot it was in 2017, 2018, and then just never really knew how to go about it. And but I followed wrestling. I followed WWE with Twitter, just the most minor fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I was traveling for work. I travel a lot for work, and I was in my hotel and actually just by luck caught Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa steel cage match.
Oh, I remember that.
And to be so removed from wrestling and not know, I knew there was a women's elimination chamber. I knew things were progressing, I guess, for women's wrestling in WWE, but I had never seen anything like Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, and so that definitely piqued my interest. Um, just like deathmatch wrestling, I love women's wrestling. I think they could do moves. They make moves look really pretty, and I
Okay.
love women's wrestling. So that the combination of the two was like, okay, what's up with AEW?
Mm-hmm.
I think life got busy and fell off, but then I got invited. I was moving away. I was moving cities, and one of my last hangouts with friends that I was living with in Houston, they're like, "Hey, we should watch AEW." Like, and they told me, "I know you're a fan of wrestling. AEW seems to be good right now." And we turned it on, and John Moxley had just returned from, I believe, rehab. He
Mm-hmm.
he, he had cut that legendary promo about, um, fighting his demons, and
Mm-hmm.
or I forget what he says. I don't run from my demons. I beat the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that was an awesome promo for me. And from there, I just kind of kept going. Not too much longer. I think it was the MJF John Moxley feud, and I remember MJF's promo for that also just kind of floored me. And the rest is history. I've been an avid watcher ever since.
Yeah, yeah, I really think MJF, of course, is a generational talent, and a lot of people I talk to on the show love Moxley. So I think it's really fun to listen to people tell the tales of those two. Tell me, Tim, you've been watching enough probably lately. Tell me how you feel. What can AEW work on? What's something, because it's not all, a lot of people say, well, AEW, they never criticize their own product and stuff. Tell me, what do you think they can work on?
Yeah, yeah. So I actually thought of two things for this one. Uh, One, I'd like for AEW to not exactly run back events yearly just because they believe it should be a yearly event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, an example of this is Blood and Guts. I love Blood and Guts, but if there's no reason for it, we don't need to
Yeah.
throw the conglomeration and the Death Riders again. We
Yeah.
don't need to throw in. I think this past year they built up the women to have a Blood and Guts,
Mm-hmm.
and then a week before, Orange Cassidy just says Blood and Guts, and that created a
Yeah.
whole match. I understand if you're going to put two rings together and build the cage, why not have two matches? But I think it should, kind of make sense. Same thing with Forbidden Door. I love Forbidden Door. I
Yeah.
actually have tickets to fly out and go next month or this month. But you know, is Forbidden Door actually forbidden if it's every year?
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about Forbidden Door. I got some people
Yeah,
mad at me saying that maybe what happened with Thekla last night will actually make Forbidden Door interesting, and people got pretty mad over that. But
yeah. That's probably one that I'm looking forward to the most. I
Yeah.
love Joshi wrestling, so you know, I'm hoping for Sari
Hmm.
to be in the finals. I'll get to see her. That would be awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, as far as the Forbidden Door being, and if it's just another pay-per-view, maybe it just gets renamed because
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
it's just cameos at this point. I love Forbidden Door. I love the idea of it,
Yeah.
but let's build and have a I don't know invasion. Have hate or
Hmm.
have someone from Stardom kidnap Sky Blue and turn her into a you know
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, definitely needs to
and
go on
Nyla.
storyline.
Something crazy. Um, but yeah, that's one of
Yeah,
them.
I 100% agree with that. I think they need to well with I don't know what's going to happen next year with Forbidden Door with everything going on with New Japan, but I really feel they need to cut it out and maybe not do it anymore because it's no longer, in my opinion, all the good wrestlers have came over already, and there's no one really to face from New Japan. Maybe there's Mexico and stuff, but I, as Taz would say, I digress.
Yeah.
Let's. I just want to, there's a lot of wrestlers out there. Can you tell me who do you think is underappreciated? Who you want to see on screen more, maybe?
Who do I want to see on screen more? Uh, I mean, I would love for a lucha guy, maybe even not even lucha, but right now I'm really rooting for Andrade, Roosh,
Hmm.
Bandito. I want to see more of them. I think they have a lot to give. And I don't think this is the case with AEW, but I would hate to build a reputation of almost like WWE, like, oh, they don't know what to do with their luchadors. They don't push their luchadors.
Yeah.
Um, I think if it's a issue of ability to cut a promo and make an audience feel something, the language barrier shouldn't be it because I don't think that's what AEW's identity is.
Hmm.
Uh, so anybody from that little handful, I would love to see more.
Yeah. I appreciate what Roosh did last night. That was a heck of a showing. Andrade puts it on. I haven't seen Bandito for a while on there, but he's always, they at least put some championship belts on them, at least, which I love. Uh, they got notoriety at least and stuff. So so beyond that, do you have you know, uh, are there a lot of pay per views and stuff? A lot of good shows. Have you ever been to a live show?
Yeah, I've actually been to a good amount actually. Just by luck. Sometimes, like I said, I travel a lot. I was at the Asheville show. I was actually out there for business and just happened to be able to catch Dynamite there. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing for Tampa. I'll travel sometimes. I went to Revolution 2025,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a you know
Yeah.
to see the Hollywood ending in person was
Wow. Okay.
just absolutely beautiful. When I tell
Yeah.
you that nobody was sitting for the entirety of that match. Everybody was on their toes.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to All In last year.
I was at
Uh,
All In. Yeah,
yeah. That show was too long. Um,
it was long. Yeah, yeah,
I wish I would have known. I would have came a little bit later, honestly, because 7 hours or whatever is too long for me to sit there and watch. I had to get up during a couple matches and walk away
yeah.
and not pay attention just to get out of my section and move my legs.
Right.
Uh, and that's one thing. If I could change, I would change the pay per view times, but that's a different story. Uh, so, lastly, I just want to give you uh, you've gone to a lot of events and stuff. You know how the AEW fandom is. Can you give me just one message to possibly new people watching and the fans that they have right now of what message can you give them that say, hey, enjoy what you're watching? What do you want to say to them?
Something that has made AEW that much more enjoyable to me is how much they honor. a wrestler's past, whether it be coming from ROH, New Japan. They honor so much in the wrestling world that you can, although it's a new wrestler, uh, you can go back years and years and years and find out so much about them. I had no clue who Megan Bayne was when she
Mm-hmm.
debuted in AEW. And then watching all her GCW stuff, all her Stardom stuff, I'm like, wow, you know, it took me, 2 hours, 3 hours of watching extra content to really
Mm-hmm.
get an idea, and it's made Megan Bayne that much more
Yeah.
enjoyable. And
Yeah.
the example of Megan Bayne is arbitrary. It stands for everybody else. Leo
Yeah.
Rush also had zero clue who that was, and now I know uh, almost everybody. Everybody that didn't come from WWE has such a
Mm-hmm.
backlog and catalog of previous matches and promos, and going back and watching stuff and seeing them evolve into what they are today has made it so enjoyable, and I appreciate AEW for that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show and have a nice little talk and talking about your fandom. It's been an enjoyable time. Listen to someone who has a fresh perspective on lucha because I did not grow up on lucha that much, and its involvement with the industry really is pretty cool to listen to and how it has affected the people. So I thank you for your time, and I will see you later.
Yeah, if I could add one thing,
Mm-hmm.
I would just be remiss if I didn't use this time to give a shout out to that friend. That's my friend Carlos from elementary. Rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace. He's not with us
Okay.
anymore today, but if he was, no doubt about it, he'd be a sicko. And I can only dream of the conversations we'd have about AEW. Miss you, buddy. And yeah, appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate it. I thank you much.